I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I thought I was destined to be a lawyer, and the 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 proposition got so daunting to me and started to sound so horrible to me when I was in college, because I couldn't stay in college, that I was, at the same time, while I was at Stanford, I was a cartoonist for the San Francisco Examiner, San Francisco Chronicle, the Palo Alto Times, and the student newspapers. So I decided to become a syndicated cartoonist, because they used to, in the old days, they used to have a thing called comic strips and a thing called a newspaper that everybody would buy every day. And there were actually 2 pages at least of them, and every day people would see what happened to Snoopy, who was a beagle that belonged to a little boy named Charlie Brown, or they had cavemen named BC, and I heard that you could make a lot of money doing that, and it just seemed like a pretty sweet gig that I would be good at. And I put together a submission for the syndicates, and they're very hard to sell in reality. They used to get something like 1,000 submissions and would only launch 1 or 2 a year. And mine was actually test marketed, so it came kind of close, and they said, well, you should stick with it, you should give us something else next year. But my submission was seen by a guy named Lou Scheimer, who was the founder of Filmation Studios, which frankly is about one of the worst animation studios ever. They were very low rent, they did everything on the cheap, and he hired me to be a character designer, storyboard artist, and writer at the studio, because he saw what I was doing. And again, it was just, he saw the way I drew, and he said, I got 150 guys here, but nobody does this. So I designed a bunch of the new characters, and then I wrote scripts for, people say like, well, what shows did you write for? And I go, well, Heckle and Jekyll and Mighty Mouse. And they go, oh, that's great. And I go, no, this was the new adventures of Heckle and Jekyll. This was the new adventures of Mighty Mouse. They didn't sing. They didn't have good, these were awful. And really the writing, half the writing on those shows was, you had books of stock footage, and you had to figure out how to make the show 40% stock footage. So you'd get your idea for a story, and you go, well, they can run and then abruptly stop with the dust coming up behind them. We could use this, okay, but the main thing that struck me as to what made the shows bad was that they recorded all the actors separately, and they had no interest in trying to find anything in the material, or just, it was really a sausage factory. Not a sausage, is that what they call? I thought a sausage factory is like a party with all guys. It's a, what do they call? I don't know. It was quite a, it was a cheap factory. And even at my tender age of 21, I thought, this would be much better if the people could look at each other and hear what the other person said and then say their lines. That would make this a lot better. And so when it came time to figure out how to do The Simpsons, many years later, that was certainly one of the things that I insisted on, is that we recorded it as if it were a live radio performance, and all the cast were there doing their